Hi, JD here, and just checking on my phone over here to see that people are coming on board. Good, good. We're going to kick off. I'm going to talk about something that I've been ranting about in recent times, but I'm going to stick with it because it's such an important part of business, and that is websites. Or landing pages, sales pages, but basically your online presence. And I think we're ready to go. I'll just check. Yep, okay, we are. So therefore, you would have heard me, if you've been on one of my lunchtime shows, ranting about the fact that websites are now your first director of first impression. And in the old days, it used to be Susie who was answering the phone, hello, blah, 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 Proprietary Limited. She's now number two. Your website is the first place that everyone goes when they start looking for perhaps doing business with you. And so therefore, don't you think it's pretty important to give a lot of emphasis to that? And sadly, a lot of people just throw their website together with a local website designer who is normally a bearded hipster. And that particular guy or girl would be a bit weird, wouldn't it, if the bearded hipster is a girl? This day and age, I don't know, could easily happen probably. But yeah, what I'm saying, all jokes aside, is that normally the website is put together by a design studio who is pretty much right side of the brain. Okay, so therefore they're creative, they're ideas people, and they probably have half a clue when it comes to providing you with the right brand persona. But if your website, particularly your homepage, doesn't have the important ingredients on there to sell stuff, then you've just pissed your money up against the wall. Okay, so you sit back and go, oh wow, I've got a wonderful, pretty website, but unfortunately the cash register is not ringing. So what you need to do, of course, is have a website that sells, a direct response designed homepage. And I'm about to show you that if you are a small to medium-sized business, and that's normally the case with the world that I live in these days. I used to deal with the McDonald's and the News Limited and the Westfields and 7-Elevens and people like that. But these days I tend to deal with businesses who are doing startup sort of turnover, maybe $100,000, $200,000, $400,000 a year, right up to about 20 million. That's about my sweet spot. You don't get too many News Limiteds and Coca-Colas and Westfields that watch Facebook Live, okay? And I've purposely decided to go into that area because did you know that there's 2.1 now, 1.9 was a few years ago, 2.1 small businesses in Australia. So it's a pretty big pond that I'm fishing in. So look, the thing is that if you think, well, my website's not too flash, JD, don't feel too bad about it. We can help you fix it. And you'll see, I think we've got a link above, we should. If you're interested in talking to someone in our business to help you fix your website, then you might like to join one of our programs, one of our coaching programs, and you can find out all about them by going to bookawowcall.com, okay? We are the instituteofwow.com. That's my website, the instituteofwow.com. But if you wanted to talk to someone about joining one of our coaching programs, then you might like to go to bookawowcall.com, and you'll see there's a calendar on there where you can just book a time for just a little 15-minute chat. That's all, 10 or 15 minutes. So don't think you're going to be nailed and heavy sold. If it's not for you, that's fine, but you can get a 15-minute chat with one of our crew at bookawowcall.com. I'm going to show you that if you are unhappy with your website, don't feel bad. We've got big businesses that, in my opinion, have got very poor websites. Have you heard of Cadbury, as in Cadbury chocolate? I'm going to bring up on the screen now the homepage of their website. Have a look at this. If you look at it, you'll see there that there is a lack of something which I believe is a pretty good sales tool, and it starts with H. Humans. They have no humans on the page. And again, I'm sounding like Jerry Seinfeld, but that's because I'm frustrated. These people have not got a human on the front page. So they're talking about there in the top panel, corporate gifting. Okay, I understand that that's one of many products and stuff that they have. And then they've got a Macca's menu board, which I'm quite happy with, where it talks about, the cooking kitchen. I'm assuming that's a cooking range of products, then fundraising, and then they've got whatever else. So I don't mind the fact that they've actually got a Macca's menu board. In fact, I quite like that. But that's the homepage. There's nothing else. Like, it's not like I can scroll. And if you've gone to all the effort through Facebook advertising or through the mainstream media advertising or whatever means that you've used to get people to your website, I just think to have a website like that that doesn't scroll anywhere near sufficiently enough is just a waste of opportunity. And I'm guessing this has been put together perhaps internally by a bearded hipster. It looks pretty. It's got the, the Cadbury purple. But you know what? The other thing that's missing from that, if you have a look at it, is a thing that starts with C. Chocolate. There are no images of chocolate. Beautiful packaging and the lovely purple. And of course, we've got the usual, been around for 50 years, the little logo there on the left-hand side with the glass and a half of full cream milk and all. But there isn't any chocolate. We're not seeing any chocolate on that page. So also too, it doesn't have a benefit-driven or establishment headline. So, and I'm saying, for example, voted for the fifth year in a row as the world's most lovable chocolate. Okay, there isn't anything there positioning. You might say Cadbury don't need to position, like you and I have got to work hard at it. Cadbury have been around forever, so therefore they're known as a good chocolate. Nonetheless, there has to be something better than corporate gifting. Oh, okay, right out. Then down the bottom, kitchen, fundraising. There is no theatre. Cadbury is built for theatre. If you think about some of the wonderful TV ads they've had on over time, they do a great job with that, by the way. This is letting them down. In my opinion, this is a very basic website that needs more oomph. How do you spell oomph? O-O-M-M-P-P-H-H, I guess. It needs more oomph, and it needs more theatre. Their brand persona is not too bad because obviously, they're experts at that. I just think that is underdone. I think that it's underwhelming. It could be so much sexier. Let me show you another thing that I saw with Cadbury, and this happens to be their Facebook page. This had to be put together by, I don't know, a teenager, someone who knows no better, because have a look at this. Now, I happen to have pretty valuable statistics showing that if you put long form copy on top of your Facebook ad image or video, you're going to have much more engagement because people will read through that who are interested in what you're selling. And then when they eventually click, you've got a warm click. Okay, you're not paying for cold traffic through just some sort of stunt headline that gets people to click it, but then they're not interested in your product. So number one, I don't think there's enough copy on top of that graphic, but even when you read the copy, it's pretty lame, right? Last chance to win yourself an early Christmas present. Be watching TV, obviously this is a British ad, TV2 tonight from 7:30 p.m. to catch Christmas. Click on the link below and then have a look at the image. It's a few boxes. Obviously this is a Christmas thing. And it just says, last chance to win. Last chance to win what? What? And then underneath that, last chance, catch Christmas with Cadbury. Please get the violin out. It's all very cute, but it says nothing. And then underneath that, Cadbury are sharing the joy this Christmas and giving you the chance to win one of 3 presents, bang. And of course, then you've got a click to go through. I believe that there would be a lot of cold clicks coming through to that, and they might argue, oh, well, that's fine, we're big enough to, pay Facebook for all of those dead clicks. But in my view, that, Cadbury and you and me should be looking for warm clicks. When you do click through, by the way, in this one, that's the prize. It's a pretty sexy prize. I don't know whether they're sitting on chocolate seats there or it just happens to be coincidental that they're brown seats. But the prize looks like it's pretty sexy. You wouldn't know in the left-hand side of that image there, but on the right-hand side, you'll see it says Cadbury Dairy Milk is giving away 1 private gold-class cinema experience for Village Event Cinemas. For a chance to win, comment below and tell us 25 words, blah, blah, blah. In fact, hang on. This might be a completely different thing. Let me just zip back. Okay, yeah, no, it's a completely, this one was English, UK. This one here looks like it's Australian because we're talking about, gold class village tickets. So this is another thing altogether. And again, I just don't think that the image side of this matches the copy. The copy is telling you, I had to read it 3 or 4 times to work out what it was. I'm thinking, oh, that's a bit poor, isn't it? 1 private gold class cinema experience. What's that all about? That'd be like winning 1 cruise. Okay. Well, congratulations, you've won 1 shoe. Oh, thank you. And this sounded like one of those when it said, I was reading it quickly and it said for a chance to win 1 private gold class cinema experience. I don't want to go to the cinema by myself. I'm lonely as it is. I don't want people to know I'm lonely. But yeah, what this appears to be is that you actually get a private screening for you and your friends. Now, I'm being a bit anal here, but why don't you say for you and 20 of your friends? So at least we know how big that private theatre is. I'm a bit old-fashioned with regards to, eye for detail, but I don't think this would have anywhere near the traction it deserves because they've not sexied up the offer, the actual prize, anywhere near enough. You are only seeing there, husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, and then 1 other person in that theatre. If I'm going to be giving away a prize on a private screening and it's in a private theatre for 20 people, telling me it's 20 people. In my instance, I would not be able to find 20 friends. I'd probably just have to talk to the 2 friends I have and get them to invite 15 or so other people. I got to show you this one. Let me just come back to me for a second, because it is all about me. How do I say this in a nice way? Over the years, Luna Park in Sydney has been through a whole series of different management, and we know that many decades ago they had a tragic ghost train fire, which unfortunately a few people lost their lives in, so the park was closed down for a few years, and then we reopened. I think it was closed down again because the noise was affecting Harry Seidler and a whole bunch of other people who were living on top of Luna Park, as if they didn't know Luna Park was there when they bought, by the way. So I think it was closed down at certain hours of the night time because of noise restrictions to stop annoying the people in the high rises near Luna Park, and so on and so forth. It's had a mixed history. But it is talk about location. If you know Sydney, it is right on the harbour, just underneath one side of the harbour bridge. I mean, talk about the most unbelievably valuable real estate in Australia. And it looks across to the Opera House. So it is in a fantastic location. Do you think that being in that location that it is, and I don't know what the stats are, I have no clue how many families out of all of the 1.5 out of all the 4 million people who live in Sydney, I have no idea how many people have been to Luna Park. But I suggest, because I don't think its marketing has been that flash in the last few years, I would be surprised if even 10% of Sydney has ever been to Luna Park in the last 5 years. If I had a piece of real estate that was sitting next to the harbour bridge on the most beautiful harbour in the world, overlooking the Opera House and all the bells and whistles that go with Sydney Harbour, I think I'd be showing a drone shot of the spectacular theatre and location that Luna Park sits in. I really do think that that's a big selling point. Let me show you what their website looks like. Let's bring this up again. Can you see Luna Park? Can you see the Sydney Harbour? Can you see anything at all about where this incredible magic location of this theme park is? Not a chance. And again, I think it's because this has been put together by a 22-year-old bearded hipster, okay? Excuse me whilst I just flick my ponytail. And I don't care. If you're a millennial and you're watching this going, oh, JD, you're old fart, you're being a bit tough here. No, I'm not. This is basically someone putting all those, images in their mouth, which could come from a child's under 5 birthday party, by the way. There's nothing in any one of that checkerboard of images other than the Luna Park big face. There's nothing there that couldn't have been taken out of iStock. Nothing there that couldn't have been just a backyard party. They're sitting on the very edge of the most spectacular harbour in the world, overlooking the Opera House. The Sydney Harbour Bridge basically is on top of them. They are in an incredibly sexy location, which means that if you were looking at this website, thinking about going there, but the roller coaster and the merry-go-round and the ghost train, whatever it is that they've got in there, is not exactly a thing that's going to turn you on. But boy, oh boy, I'm going to go there anyway, because I can see myself having a cup of tea or coffee and just sitting in the promenade inside Luna Park, overlooking this magical harbour. Give it your best shot, Charlie. Okay? I don't know why I said Charlie then, but I got excited, okay? This is crazy. This is so underwhelming. So someone at the website company has just put all those images in their mouth, and they've asked someone who works for them to come by and hit them on the back of the head, which would go, this is a sound effect, on the back of that, and then they've vomited all that stuff over the homepage. Because that's what it is. It's just nutso. Look at the images. There's someone with a iPhone taking a photo. There's a little boy that looks like he's just seen a ghost. Then there's the one and only image that makes some sense. It's the face of Luna Park. Then there's a boy and a girl enjoying themselves, and there's another little girl smiling, and then there's just, I go right throughout it. It could be a local school fete, for God's sake. There's nothing about this that tells me that this is a theme park that I have to go to. It's just so tragic. It is. I spoke at where was it? It was in the Sunshine Coast. The theme park attractions industry has an association which is called the AAAAC, whatever, some ridiculous acronym, which I think stands for. I'll just ask one of my people. When I went to Noosa that time, what was it? It was the AAAACAAA, whatever it is. I don't even know what sorry. Yeah, Alara, A-A-A-L-A-R-A-A-A-A-A-A-A, okay? It's Australian Attractions and Amusement, blah, 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 whatever it is. I don't even know what NRMA stands for. I don't know AAMI. I'm battling with KFC, okay? So therefore, I went and I spoke. And I probably ruffled a few feathers because I brought up case studies like this and just said, what are you people smoking? Now, the people that were at this particular event, it was a convention for the industry, of course, the AAAAAAAA convention. They were from rock climbing businesses. I don't know why I'm doing that. It just looks like bit weird, but anyway, when you go rock climbing, just in case you don't know, you do that, okay? Because I do a hell of a lot of rock climbing. And there were people from the bouncing castle thing. I can't help myself. I don't need to demonstrate this to you. I'm sure you know what a bouncing castle, not bouncing castles, but bouncing, they've got these places now. They've got a couple of them on the Gold Coast where the kids go and they're just jumping down on trampolines and bouncy things. And they had Dream World and Movie World, and they had Luna Park, and they had, what do you call it, various other theme parks and attractions. There was something like about 150 people in the room. And sarcastic me gets out and I do my song and dance, and I was just asking Movie World why they'd never thought about putting a haunted mansion hotel in the front of their theme park. If you really wanted to create a hotel on the Gold Coast that was not near the water but would be booked out 364 nights a year, because I don't know why they're not 365, but one night, I don't know, they've got electricity problems, plumbing problems, the toilets break, I don't know, but 364 nights a year, then I reckon a haunted mansion hotel would just brain it. Absolutely brain it. And I remember watching the people from Movie World that were, listening to my song and dance, taking notes at the time. Nothing's ever happened. This was a few years ago, so that's never happened. I don't know why there isn't any themed hotels up where the theme parks are on the Gold Coast, as in Dream World and Water World and Movie World. I would think that a themed hotel, e.g. Haunted Mansion, would just brain them. Or brain it, I should say. And Luna Park, the guy that was running Luna Park at the time came up and spoke to me after I did my song and dance and thanked me for the frankness of my sarcasm, because I did have a shot at Luna Park's marketing. And that was a few years ago. And nothing has changed, because that is just, to me, a crazy, crazy homepage. And if you think that they're the only big businesses that are, in my opinion, missing out on a great opportunity to fix their website, let me show you another one. This one here is, again, under the banner of, I guess, theme parks. I don't know why I'm picking on them, but what the heck, I go down one particular track and I stick with it. This here happens to be SeaWorld. Okay, now, I have to say to them, congratulations, because they have put humans in there, which is good, and they've got their target audience, which is parents and children. And, the image there is not too bad at all. Maybe they didn't want to show too frightening sharks. The world that I come from, which is, if I'm going to do a dinosaur book, it'll be Attack of the Dinosaurs. It won't be Age of the Dinosaurs. It'll be Attack of the Dinosaurs. So I come from a bit of a George Lucas, Spielberg theatrical mindset. So I probably would have made sure that if that little boy's pointing out something, that it would have been not just half a stingray. I probably would have shown, something that was a little bit more impactful, like Jaws. Okay. There might have been a reason for not doing that, I don't know. The All-Mazing Moments, not a bad headline. That's all right. I'm not too fussed about the spelling and all that. I would have probably put an exclamation mark after that. I know, you're sitting there going, you're being a bit tough. No. It's All-Mazing Moments, not All-Mazing Moments. Okay. And then when you look at the rest of the page there, it's pretty pedestrian. Okay, it's, the Seal Guardians presentation. They're showing a seal doing nothing. The SeaWorld Skyflyer, yeah, well, I don't know that I'd get too excited about that particular photo. And the other one with the Paw Patrol little cartoon characters, yeah, that's okay. It's just okay. And you're saying, well, what would you do, Smart Alec? What I would do with that, if I was running the marketing for SeaWorld, is that I'd have a more impactful image with the little boy and the parents, okay? And what I would do is probably have the most loved sea creature in the world big time on that page. And I'm going to do a drum roll here and give you 5 seconds thinking time. What do you think the most lovable sea creature of all time worldwide is? What do you think? Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about this. You can type it below, by the way. Let's see who can win. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I've got my good friend and helper in putting these Facebook Lives on, Rob, with me. And Rob, I'll get you to scream that out. What do you think is the most...
Penguin.
A penguin. That's why Rob sometimes, I believe, suffers from dickheaditis. Okay, it is not a penguin. If I said to Rob now, look, I'll give you a second chance, and we're talking sea creatures, are lovable, something's cute. There's been TV shows about this, and I bet you there's every chance in the world. Oh, crocodile. Crocodile. Oh, what a crab. A crab. I don't want to do these lunchtime shows anymore. Not with Rob, okay? It's just he comes up with some silly things. If you're typing it below at the moment, then hopefully you are typing a sea creature whose name begins with D, okay? D. Yeah, Flipper, okay? That's what Rob says, Flipper. Rob's not big on the alphabet. Rob failed England at school, as a matter of fact. So there, a dolphin. Okay, so I'll bring that web page back again. Enough of my silliness. Don't you think that there should be a dolphin or more dolphins in that graphic? It should be more dolphins. Okay, and the dolphin should be swimming by. The dolphin should be being hugged by a little boy or girl, kissing, all that sort of stuff. Okay. I want to tell you a dolphin story. I'm going to bring the camera back to me because now that I've brought up a trigger word, which is very, very dangerous for someone with a short attention span like me, I was contracted to provide marketing advice to the Coffs Harbour version of SeaWorld. And it was called, what was it called? I'm just asking again. I've got 1,264 staff, by the way, in this huge New York head office building that we have. Whatever it was called. It was, what do you call dolphins? What's another word for dolphins? Rob, are you familiar? There was another word for dolphins. Porpoise. That's it. Thank you. And whoever in my staff of 1,200 just came up with that, take an early mark this afternoon, leave at 1 minute to 5. Okay. So therefore, Pet Porpoise, it was called the Pet Porpoise Pool, not World, Pool. I mean, let's really make it sound really as shitty as possible. So let's not call it World, let's just call it Pool. So I called into the Coffs Harbour Pet Porpoise Pool, and it had been there since, I think, 1912. And I visited the management in there, and I looked around, and it was a bit rusty. It was a bit rusty and old-fashioned. And they said, oh, look, what we want you to do is to come up with an idea that could convince people that when they stop off at Coffs Harbour from Melbourne or Sydney on the way to the Gold Coast, that to go to the real theme parks, they would actually come to the Pet Porpoise Pool. And I said, okay, fair enough. And look, all jokes aside, it was okay. But when you actually went to see the porpoises, they were in like a Clark's swimming pool. Something like I had as a kid growing up in the backyard. And they were sort of like Dodgem cars. The pool was only about the size of a normal bedroom. And so the porpoises were bumping into it. I'm joking, okay. But it was not quite SeaWorld out of Miami, Florida, okay? It was not quite like the Gold Coast SeaWorld. But look, it was reasonably well done, I'm having a joke, okay? But I sat down with the people and then came back to them with recommendations, and I said to them, okay, so you're saying that people who are driving up to the Gold Coast from Sydney or Melbourne, they tend to stop off at Coffs Harbour, and what you want them to do is come to your SeaWorldy park before they take another 5 or 6 hours drive to the Gold Coast. They said yes. Okay, and they wanted locals as well. Who doesn't? Because locals can come backwards and forwards. And I said to them, what do you think is the most lovable character, SeaWorld character in the world? They said, oh, porpoise. I said, no, it's not. No one knows what a porpoise is. It's a dolphin. So, I mean, it's working against you at the moment. The Pet Porpoise Pool is not exactly what I would, consider to be as sexy as SeaWorld, And they said, oh, Pet Porpoise Pool's been the name since, Harry and Beryl, set it up all those years ago. Well, fair enough. But how about we forget porpoise and we go with dolphin? And they said, oh, okay. And anyway, they said to me, you don't think Pet Porpoise Pool is a sexy name? I said, well, it's better than Dog Shit World, but just mildly. Anyway, I said to them, look, how about we do this? Why don't we run a promotion with the Sydney Melbourne Sunday papers, and we give away 2 tickets, 2 children's tickets to the Pet Porpoise World. And they went, what? A children's ticket is $15, whatever it might be. I said, yes. But how many children have you seen driving, like under 15, driving from Melbourne or Sydney and stopping off at Coffs Harbour without their parents? So the whole idea is that the newspapers will be able to give away whatever it is, 500,000 newspapers times, $30 value, which works out to be a gazillion dollars. So we get them interested on one Sunday. And then you've got, every child in bloody Sydney and Melbourne that have got 2 tickets to the Pet Porpoise World, that it's really going to be influential, I think, for their parents to stop off at Coffs Harbour and go to the Pet Porpoise World. And not only that, not only do they get 2 children's tickets to go in, but when they go in, they actually get a free photo of kissing the dolphin, because these dolphins come up to the side of the pool, because the pool is only that deep. It's not, okay, but they do come up to the side of the pool, and you can kiss the dolphin and get someone to take a photo. And they said, but the photos are normally $15. I said, I know they're $15, but it costs you like 10 cents. Just give the photo away, in my Seinfeld voice. And they eventually got it. And that's what we did. And you don't want to know what the result was. Like, incredible. Now, the thing is that, yes, they were giving away 2 children's tickets, but it was giving away fresh air, for God's sake. It's like giving away an airline ticket when it was empty, So therefore, the children, of course, are not going to drive to Coffs Harbour. They just go with their parents. Their parents go, you know what, we're going to stop off at Coffs Harbour, which is the halfway point between Sydney and the Gold Coast. We've got 2 free tickets to go to this dolphin park, or porpoise park, and we're going to go in there because you kids get in for free. And of course, the parents have to pay the legitimate price for adults, which, I don't know, 35, 40 bucks for 2 adults. And of course, they're going to buy fairy floss and ice cream and so on and so forth. And the kids get to get a photo with the dolphin. Like, how good is that? Talk about wow factor marketing. I know I'm off the subject of websites. Get over it, okay? The point is, that should be valuable for you even in itself. That if you, if you've got good margin in tickets to something, or good margin in a product, think about sampling, think about giving away a freebie, and that one worked really, really well. I want to show you, give me 1 second, this one here, I'm bringing it up to the screen right now. This happens to be another theme park. You can see it's theme park sort of themed. Again, this is Dreamworld, and I just wouldn't have thought the Afterpay was the Elvis found headline that you'd be looking for there. I know that they're talking about behind that, get 3 days for the price of 1 and all that sort of stuff, but do you think that's a little bit lame, a little bit boring for a theme park? Goodness me. I mean, yeah, I don't think a headline is operating hours or park map or animal adventures. I just think that, the Dreamworld that I know has so many more sexy things that could be offered in the top part of that web page. I just think that's a pretty lame homepage. I've got one here, which is the next one, which is Movie World. And it was, let's say, Australia's #1 theme park. I would have probably voted Australia's #1 theme park. I think, that then puts some credibility behind it. Again, I just think that it's rather pedestrian. I just think there could be so many more things there. This one here happens to be another page of Movie World. Again, I just think that it's lacking theatre. This one here happens to be Streets. And that's the homepage. That's the entire homepage, by the way. So don't think, I must scroll further. No, it doesn't. That's it. That's just it. Again, missing a thing that starts with H, humans. No humans on the homepage, okay? I would have thought humans digging into or licking into the Cornetto would have been a good idea, or the, what's the other one? Is that a Magnum, I think they call them? I don't like ice cream, which is really weird. Can you imagine anyone in the world not liking ice cream? But I'm not into ice cream, which is really, I think God's paying me back for something I must have done in another life, because I wish I liked ice cream, but I don't. And this one here happens to be the Facebook page for Streets. And yeah, I'm not sure that really turns me on either. He wrote this song about house keys because he's constantly losing it. I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe I'm not in the target audience, but it's a bit freaky. And this here is another one. And again, I don't know what that's all about either. I've got to show you Westfields. This is Westfields homepage. And you might go, oh, no, that must be just above the menu bar. That would be the logo. No, that is it. What you're looking at there is Westfields homepage. And you'll see that the menu bar is just basically find a centre. And while they've got, as you see on the right-hand side there down the bottom, they have a menu bar that you can bring up of all centres. But that is it. That's their, talk about underwhelming. Westfield is a major shopping centre business, and they just decided to show a giant big W. That's funny, a giant big W, okay? I don't think big W even shows a big W. This one here happens to be a shopping centre on the Gold Coast, and this is a Facebook ad. So you see up the top there, Robina Town Centre sponsored, which means it's an ad, and they obviously have no clue about the benefit of having long form copy above the image. But this here is we get by with a little help from yogurt. Wow. That really strikes me as being, let me think, something starting with you. That's it, underwhelming. Under-bloody-whelming. Another one here, which is Coles' website. Okay, this is their website, and again, I don't know what they're smoking, but I do not see that as being something that really jumps out at me. If I had that guy, I don't know his name, I know it's not Jamie Dury, but whoever his name is from, I'll ask Rob. Rob, do you know what that guy's name is? He's Curtis Stone, that's it. Yep, Rob watches a lot of female TV shows, and he's very much into not just MasterChef, which is predominantly female viewers, but he's also into Bold and Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, and the, what's the other one? Rich and not Rich and Famous, but anyway. Yeah, well, Restless Years, whatever the girl is. Oh, Restless Years, that's showing our age. That was about 100 years ago. Rob's also into, what's it called, Neighbours and Home and Away. But anyway, enough about Rob. So that Curtis Stone guy there, who is, well known, I don't know him, but I know his face, I would have him up front and centre instead of the cute little icons for, I don't know what they are, fruit and what have you. Got to think about who the audience is for this. This is not going to be children. Someone who goes to the Coles website will be more than likely 18, and more than likely the profitable audience for Coles would be people over 30 who have probably got mortgages and children. And I don't think the little icons with the cartoon characters up the top there, I know it's cute because they're little fruit icons, but seriously, I would be having a much stronger headline there. Absolutely. So look, that's about it. I don't want to go any further into bagging people. I don't get enjoyment out of criticising people. Yes, I do. These people are suffering, in my opinion, from dickheaditis. They are just nutso, because what's happening is that the decision makers who spend all the money on the bearded hipsters that are putting this shit together are just sitting in the room. Someone comes in and goes, oh, look, I just thought I'd show you our latest website design. We've got these little fruit cartoon characters up the top here. We think that would be really cute. And they do it like that, really cute. And the decision maker, who's probably, an old fart my age, who is running Coles or running the theme parks or whatever, he goes, oh, yeah, no, that looks fine. Off you do it. No. If you are a decision maker and you are not creative, be bold enough to interrogate the shit out of anyone who's creative. I happen to think very boastfully that I'm quite different from most creatives. If I'm going to come up with an idea for a business, I'm going to come up with one that's got practicality behind it. So I match maths and science and art and English. So if someone says to me, oh, look, I think we ought to say that for every 5th purchase, they will get blump as a bonus, I'll go, hang on, whoa. Does that make any sense at all? And we'll interrogate the daylights out of it before we actually tick the yes button. By the way, if you would like to get your hands on more of this sort of stuff, you can do one of two things. You can type below, JD, I need help. Please help me, JD. And we'll private messenger you and organise a call. Or you can, secondly, take the other option. I don't know why I did that secondly. Hang on. Okay, that. I've still got 3 up, but that. Maths was not my big subject at school. Geology wasn't either. I hated geology. God, they took us out to Bathurst or somewhere. I went to a De La Salle Kingsgrove school in Sydney, and they took us to Bathurst to spend 3 days with rocks. Who does that to children? All the Catholic schools being berated these days for a certain other abuse. I want to take them to court for rocks abuse. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. If you are interested in getting some help, and you need it, I know, I can see you right now. I've got a special gift here. It's called X-Ray Vision. I know you need help with your marketing because you've probably got a shit website and you probably don't know how to do Facebook advertising. You don't know in your wildest dreams how to create avalanche leads and warm leads at that. You need to talk to Uncle John. You need to talk to JD. You need to talk to my people. This is making me sick. Okay, I make me sick. Now that's when you get to the lowest possible level, when I'm doing this for myself. If you'd like to talk to us about helping you with your marketing, then we have 2 programs. One, which is our program called the Academy program. and it's for smaller businesses that are in startup mode, or you might be doing a couple $100,000 turnover, and that's a few $100s a month, okay? And if you go to bookawowcall.com, you can talk to one of our people and they'll put you onto a web page and you can have a look at it. And if you're a more established business, doing maybe 400 or 500K or more a year, then you should be thinking about private coaching. And that way you get me to become your marketing manager, and I put together a marketing plan for your business, which is normally 20, 30, 40 pages thick, and it has layouts for all of your communication. So whether it be your homepage for your website, or whether it be Facebook ads or Instagram, brochures, scripts if you were going to be doing podcasts, or you're going to be doing TV ads or radio, whatever it may be, we take over and put together your marketing for you, and that's a few grand a month. But if you consider, you might be paying your secretary $50,000 or $60,000 a month. I think to pay me $3,000 by 12 months, I think you'll find that's a better chance of getting a return on your investment. If you're interested in that, then just email us at info@theinstituteofwow, info@theinstituteofwow.com. We are a massive conglomerate, worldwide business, offices, Paris, Rome, London, Athens, all around the world. So we don't have an AU at the end of our URL. Okay, so therefore, info@theinstituteofwow.com. If you would like a free critique of your website because you think it looks like, let me think, shit, then what you'd need to do in the comments, little panels below, just type, I've got an itchy back, do you mind? I'm just going to itch. Can you imagine doing this on live TV if it was really a TV show? You'd think one of the 800 staff I've got here would be able to get a back scratch or something. Isn't that awful when you just can't quite get to it? Anyway. You're thinking, what a waste of lunch this has been. No, it hasn't. You've got lots of good content up to this point of time. Yes, I've criticised just about everyone that draws breath, but that's a gift that I've been given, so I've got to use it, okay? I was only saying in last week's Facebook Live, I did a few video gags not long ago with Agro, the puppet Agro. Jamie Dunn is a really, really lovely guy, very, very funny. And if you're my vintage, then you'll remember Agro on TV was just a superstar. And it was funny because we called ourselves not consultants, we called ourselves the two insultants, the two marketing insultants, and it was just good fun. But yeah, so if you are interested in getting a free, no obligation, no catches critique of your website, then just type it below, type your URL, but please put www. in there. I know you don't have to do that when you're online, but for me to be able to quickly just click the comment box below and go straight through to your website, it's a lot easier. So just make sure you put the www. in there before you put the rest of your URL. You'll get a critique, and what I'll do on next Wednesday's show is more than likely pick the best, well, I should say the worst websites, and I'll probably do a sketch. I've got an overhead camera, and just to prove to you I've got an overhead camera, I'm going to put the overhead camera on now. It's a $4.8 billion camera, and I'm going to show you, give me a second, okay, what you should do on your website. And I should have a pen with ink in it, would help, wouldn't it? So therefore, we'd break this website up into a certain amount of panels. Really easy to design a website these days. Up here, you've got your logo, okay, and you've got your social media boxes, and then you've got your phone number. Very important to have your phone number up there, because if someone's coming onto your website for the second or third time, they don't want to be scrolling down here looking for your phone number. They just want to ring you. They want to give you money, so let them give you money. And around about here, what you might do is either have an image or a tagline. So if this was Woolworths, that would be the fresh food people, okay? And then what you do here is you have a problem solution headline, okay? So problem solution headline. And I'll just put headline in there, okay? And you may have some images there, big problem solution headline there with maybe 2 or 3 lines of explanatory copy. And then this is what you need to have. You need to have an explainer video. And let's just put that here, explainer video, okay? And you'd have to have a big attention-grabbing headline on top of that. And that headline might say, just watch this 3-minute video below to learn how you can lose 10 kilos within 2 weeks. So this headline up here, problem solution, if you're a weight loss centre, would be, are you overweight and not feeling good about yourself? And you'd show some people here that might fall into that category. Well, the good news for you is that you can actually buy our dietary program and lose 10 kilos within X number of weeks. And here it would be, just watch this 3-minute video below to see how easy it is to lose 10 kilos in 3 weeks. You'd have a bit of explanatory copy here, and you might have some imagery on both sides here, some before and afters, okay? And here what you want is a free report, and the free report is because you want to capture data, okay? And that free report, you would show what it might look like, bang, 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 okay? And it's got a few pages to it. and then you say what that free report is, the 3 biggest mistakes that people make when they go on dietary programs, and if you'd like this free report to avoid making those mistakes, just click here. And then what you would have here is don't, okay, take our word for it. Okay, and we know that you're probably skeptical about this program of losing weight, so therefore what we're going to do is we're going to show you Mary, Julie and Esme, and that's their heads there, by the way. As you can see, they're not really attractive. They've got a weight problem and they're ugly. And then what you do is you have comments from them underneath, and you would say Wendy, Susie and Esme. Okay, try not to use Esme's. Esme's, generally speaking, are always pretty boring people. I've never come across an interesting Esme yet. Beryl, not real interesting either. I haven't come across too many interesting Beryls. And Daphne's. So try not to use Esme, Beryl or Daphne. Can you imagine how bad it would be if they were the only testimonials that you had? Just boring people. I don't know why. And then you might have underneath here a special, okay, call to action. Okay, and that call to action would be special deal, blah, 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 for X dollars. And of course here you have your base plate, okay. The only other thing I haven't got in there, I'll leave it up for the moment just so that you can digest that because it is so brilliant. The only thing I don't have in there at the moment is maybe the 3 big benefits that you can offer people. And those 3 big benefits might be that you are bigger, faster, tastier, whatever it may be. Okay. In my instance, the 3 big benefits I offer people when they come onto my program is number 1, they get access to me no matter which program they come onto. Obviously, if they pay the personal coaching of a few $1,000s a month, they get more access. In fact, they get unlimited access to me. But even if they join the smaller program, a few $100s a month, they still get access to me. And the other thing that I offer, number 2 benefit, is that we're fast. We don't muck around, okay? They will have, in the private coaching program, a marketing plan from me within 10 working days of talking to them. That's mind-boggling, okay? And we're talking a 30-page marketing plan, everything online, offline, right? And the third thing is that we offer is that we're all under the one roof. We've got a Rolodex list which covers copywriters, website designers, graphic art studios, basically, exhibition experts in terms of designing expo stands. It just goes on and on and on and on. People who can give you $1 million for an insured prize promotion. We think that we're pretty unique in that regard. So therefore, my 3 big benefits are me, speed, and everything under the one roof, a one-stop shop. So you've got to decide what your 3 big benefits are and perhaps include them in that page. I'm exhausted, and quite frankly, I've had enough. So I'm out of here, and hopefully you've enjoyed this luncheon with me. If you'd like to join me every Wednesday, then just Queensland time from noon, New South Wales and Victorian time from 1 p.m. If you're in Mongolia, I've got no clue. Cyprus, I've got no idea what time it is. If you're in Los Angeles, I think it's 5 or 6 hours ahead or something like that. So in other words, if you're a foreigner from another country, work out the time yourself. There's a thing called Google these days. Just go on there and put Queensland, Australia time, noon, where is it where I live. If you're intergalactic, so you're on a planet somewhere and we have a few viewers from there, then you work it out. You can time travel anyway, so therefore even if you miss it, you can go back. I'm out of here, okay? I've had enough of this, and I don't know about you, but I think you got some good content in amongst a lot of rubbish. And if you enjoyed that, then come back and see me next week. And again, I ask you for the last time, this will be the last time I tell you to do this, if you'd like a free critique, type your URL in below, www, so I just have to click it, I don't have to go looking for it, .com or .com.au. And I will have there's a very strong chance that you'll be chosen next week for me to actually show you what your website should look like. You cannot have feelings. If you're going to be involved in this environment, you've got to have a joke. We live in a world at the moment where everyone gets upset about everything. So therefore, if you're one of those people, do not hang around me, because we just have a bit of fun and having a shot at each other, and nobody takes it serious. It's just a joke, all right? But what you will find in between all of that messing around and having a good time, there's a shitload of good content. And hopefully you've recognised what I've given you today with regards to website tips and Facebook ad tips. You'll see that there's a lot of content here which is very rich and very valuable. Okay guys, enough from me. We will see you next Wednesday, 12 noon Queensland time. Over and out.